All right, so we're learning how to add objects into Frame VR. So I'm gonna go back to Poly Pizza, and I don't know, I'm gonna add another object here. Let's call it I don't know, street light. That's an option, but I want to have a street light here. I kind of like this lamppost. Now let's just say for the sake, so here's the lamppost. Okay. Let's just say for the sake of argument that I can't get it as a GLB. Let's say you get it from another website that's not this, and GLB is not an option. I'm going to choose the one that says OBJ. And that's an object. That's called a 3D. It's an object format, which is another 3D format. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Blender. Okay, I'm assuming you guys have a basic knowledge of Blender. And I'm going to set up a new file. And you get your standard cube and the light and, or sorry, the camera and the light. I'm just going to delete everything because I don't want any other stuff. And actually, what you can do is you can actually import models into Blender. The reason why we're doing this is we're going to convert the OBJ into a GLB format from Blender. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go under Import, OBJ. Where is that? There it is, Wavefront OBJ. And I think I downloaded it right. My desktop, maybe not. Maybe I didn't download it yet. No, there it is, I think, right? 3D model OBJ. No, wrong model. I don't know. Let's go back. Maybe I didn't. Did I download it? No. Oh, it's still in a zip file. That's why I can't find it. Maybe I should put that bear there. It looks pretty cute. All right. I'm gonna import the OBJ. Should be under lamppost. There's the OBJ file. Let's open that up. All right. That looks good. You can even see the material that's being added to it there. Video. There you go. Sorry. Couldn't see myself for a second. Now what I'm going to do is actually export this. So let's export by highlighting the model, and I'm going to go under File, Export. Now, instead of using an OBJ, because unfortunately FrameVR.io can't use that, we're going to use another format that's called a GLTF. Okay, it's another sort of open source 3D format. And I'm going to save this to my desktop, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it, I don't know, lamppost. And then another thing I want to do is I'm going to go under format, or sorry, I'm going to go under include. Actually, sorry, it's under data, and I want to go under material. And I'm going to set this to 100%. I'm going to set create WebP fallback. You have to do this so that if you bring in images or any kind of vertex colors, they come through. Like if you applied an image in Blender and you want to bring that image in, this allows you for that. So I'm going to hit export now. And you look at my desktop, and I now have that GLB file. And so what I'm going to do now is bring that into Frame VR. So let's go back to Frame VR and let's put the lamppost over here. So I'm going to go back to models and hit add to add the new model. And I'm going to find that lamppost file that I just created. Let's hit, make sure it's set to optimize, add to inventory, and then we'll hit add model. Okay. I'm going to go back under inventory, models, and I should have lamppost now because it got added. And let's hit the little plus. And there it is. I'm going to select this in edit mode, and then I can take it, move it over here. I kind of want it a little bigger, so let's change the scale of it. Let's make it like two, no, not 12, but 2 by 2 by 2. That's really big, but I don't know, maybe like 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. It's still kind of, I don't know. Maybe 2 was right. I think I just had it too high up, look too tall. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. All right, let's talk about making our own models. Let's say I really wanted to have a wooden crate. Okay, and let's just say for the sake of argument, I can't find it in here, and I want to have my own crate. So what I'm going to do is go to Blender. I'm going to set up a new scene from scratch. And what I'm going to do is let's just model something. Okay, I'm going to add a cube. Okay. And I'm just spinning around. I'm assuming you guys have at least a basic understanding of how to, use Blender. I'm gonna go to edit mode and I'm gonna select the faces and I'm gonna do I'm gonna do what's called an inset, which brings this in a little bit. And I'm doing this to all, I'm gonna do this to all 6 faces of this cube. Oops. Oh, I messed up there, but I'm too lazy to fix it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extrude these all inward to create kind of I'm just going to use E to extrude. I could do all of these by selecting all of them and doing a individual origin, but I don't know if everyone knows what that is. So I'm just going to do these individually just by highlighting, hitting the E on my keyboard. That'll give this a little bit of texture. All right, looks good. Now I could add a material to this, like I could make this brown or something like that. And if I did do that, that would come in and save this as a GLB, that would come in to Frame VR properly. Actually, let's do that. I'm gonna go to materials. I'm assuming you guys have at least a basic idea of materials, and I'm gonna make a new material. And let's make this red. And I'm gonna go under shading mode, and you can see this is red. What I'm gonna do is select this and let's export this as a GLTF. And I'm gonna call this crate, crate A. Okay, I'm gonna save it to my desktop. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is go under models and I'm gonna hit add. Oops, there it is. And I'm gonna add in that file that I just created, crate A. And optimize, add inventory, add model. I'm gonna go back under inventory, under models, and I should have my crate. And if I hit plus, there's my red crate. Okay. Now let's say though I wanted it to have like a texture, like an image texture. What I'm gonna do is let's get rid of this. I'm going to delete this, and I'm actually gonna delete this whole model. I can do that by clicking here. That gets it rid of from my scene. And I'm gonna go back to Blender. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply like a wood texture. Okay. So I'm going to go to like an image directory like Pexels or, Unsplash or something. And let's look for an image. Let's look for like a wood texture. All right. So let's say I want to use this one. And I'm going to download this. Is this a premium or something? think these are, sorry, they've changed things around. This, oh, okay, there's like a plus sign. So these are like premiums. So this one's not that. Okay. I'm just gonna download the small version. All right, so there's that image I just downloaded. Let's say I was going to apply this to my model here. I'm going to go back to my materials in Blender under base color, click on the little yellow there and choose image texture. And I'm going to hit open and I'm going to find that image, which I believe should be this one. Okay, there's my kind of, striped wood texture there. Now, what I want to do is when I export this, I want to make sure that this texture is kept with the model. The way I'm going to do that is by going under external data, automatically pack resources. The reason why is that the 3D file and the image are now separate and we need to kind of combine them together. And now what I'm going to do is highlight this and I'm going to go to export and we're going to export this again as that GLTF file. I'm going to call this crate B. And under data, like again, make sure under material that image quality is set to 100, create WebP, create a WebP fallback. Okay, so remember to pack the image if you're going to use an image and make sure to set this up. Okay, now let's go back to here and I'm going to once again add that model. Grade B. Optimize, add inventory, add model. Uh-oh. Okay, that's when it worked. And if I go under models, there's my new crate. I hit plus. And you can see actually that it has, or it should have. Oops, the texture didn't come through. You're actually seeing it without the color. Let me try one more time. Maybe it just doesn't like the image name, but let me try one more time. I think it's a WebP format. Let's see if that works. Hmm, interesting. Worked when I tried it before. Of course, now it doesn't, but I think it might be that image because I've tried it with other textures and it seems to be okay. You can see the model. Let me try using a different texture model. A different image. If not, then I'm gonna have to come back and try this again later. So it's automatically. Yeah, there's an error with the live debugging. Isn't this great? Ah, okay. I don't know. This was working before. Of course, now it doesn't work. Um, now that I need it to work, it doesn't. Because of course, why wouldn't it do that? General data, content progress, export, GLTF, data, pictures. One more time, I promise. Again. I don't know. Sorry about that. I'll have to go back and figure that problem out. But you can bring it in at least without a texture. That'll work. Okay, I don't want to waste all of our time on this. All right, another thing we could do is to add music. Okay. In the resources I gave you, there's some places you can find music or sound effects. Here's one that I like called freesounds.org. And you need to set up account like everything else, but you could find music. So let's say I wanted to find, I don't know, piano music. Let's say I wanted to have a piano music as kind of like my background. What I would do, I can kind of listen to stuff here. Let's say I wanted this music as my music. If you're logged in with your account, which I am currently, I should be able to download it, which I'm going to do. Um, Currently, FrameVR.io only works with MP3 files. Okay. I don't want to get too deep into editing music, but if you wanted to like say lower the volume of the music or have like a fade in or something, the easiest program I could show you really quickly is this web-based program called Twisted Wave. Twisted Wave is a program that lets you do very simple audio editing. There's a link to it in the module. And what you could do is click where it says online, which means to edit the song online. You could upload the file, which in this case is this music loop here. Now the music's a little loud, so I'm uploading this now. What this is telling me is that instead of doing it in 2 channels or stereo, it's going to give me in mono. this is my song, which actually is not too loud. But what I could do is if I wanted to cut something, I could highlight it and hit delete. So you can see I cut part of it. I could also highlight all of it and do under audio, effects, I could do amplify. Amplify means to make the music louder or quieter. If I did so 0 means like 0 decibels doesn't mean mute. It means like the default of the music of how it was recorded, how loud or soft it was. So a 0 is like the default. If I made it positive and hit apply, you can see how the music, the waveform got bigger. So this would actually be louder than normal. I'm going to undo this by going to edit, undo. And if I had done it the other way, effects, amplify, let's do -3, that would make the music softer. So now if I play, it's a little bit softer. Rule of thumb here is that this is what's called an audio meter. It goes from 0 to basically negative infinity. You usually want your background music somewhere between 12 and -15. If it gets into the orange or red zone, that's not good. You don't want it that loud. Okay. Otherwise, that could damage someone's headphones because it's going to be vibrating so much. All right. Let's say I wanted this music for my world. I'm going to go to File, Download. You can choose the format. So if the format isn't MP3, please set it to MP3. That is currently the only format that FrameVR works with. And then you can actually rename it. I'm going to call it like background music. I'm not much of an audio person, so I just use the default settings here. You want to play around with them, be my guest. I can't help you too much. I'm not really an audio person. I'm going to hit download. It's going to convert my song to background music. Okay. What I'm going to do now to add this is I'm going to go under in edit mode. I'm going to go under inventory, and I'm going to go under where it says audio. Okay. This is a different song, but I'm going to add that song that we just created and edited. So I'm going to click on add, and I'm going to find that music, which is this one. Let's add this in. Okay, there it is. Now I want to add this to the scene. So what I'm going to do is hit plus. And when I do that, you might see this little like orb over here. This orb is what actually plays the music. Now, if I can get a little closer, you might notice how there's like a play button and a stop button and an audio button. So if I hit the play, oops, not in edit mode. So if I'm not in edit mode, you can see how I can turn this on. Did I mess this up? Why can I not hear anything? Oh, sorry. My site was just on mute. Okay. I can, so I can, turn this on and off. I can kind of. Now, for this music to work, I would have to literally turn it on. Okay. Let's say you wanted to set it up so that it would automatically turn on. What I'm gonna do is in edit mode, I'm gonna click on this. And when you want to go to where it says loop, and then that loop means that the song, whatever the song is, or the sound effect will loop multiple times. What I'm going to do is also hit autoplay. What that means is that the music's going to autoplay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to far, which means anyone in this area can hear this music. All right. Now what I'm going to do, let's turn this off. And I'm actually going to I'm going to turn this world off. Okay. Or sorry, I'm going to get out of this world real quick by hitting this. And sorry, I'm going to go, where is it? I'm I'm gonna go back to frames and I'm gonna go back to this home button here. And that should take me, give it a second. Okay, so this is the world that I built. Now when I go back in, I'm still gonna use the name teacher, connect. And there you go, the music automatically plays. Okay. I can still control it by walking up to it and just rotating here. Hit pause or stop, but at least then it automatically plays. Okay. All right. So that's how we can add, convert an object. So maybe if you find another model that's not a GLB or GLTF and you want to bring it in, you can convert it using Blender. You can make your own objects in Blender. You can add your own audio in Blender. Next thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is how to build your own scene. So in here, I've been using this, pre-built kind of Zen garden kind of thing, right? I want to build my own scene, okay, where I'm going to build an environment. And I'm going to put also what's referred to as a skybox. A skybox is like this photo that's going around the world. In this case, it's a photo of Mount Fuji. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys how to build your own world using this software.